Hey guys, welcome to Blender Easy, and in today's video we are going to create this sci-fi looping animation inside of Blender with our AV rendering system. And if you are new to this channel, then please consider to subscribe this channel and also hit the bell icon to get more updates. So without wasting any much more time, let's get started. So here we are in Blender. Now I don't need any of this, so I'll simply hit A to select all of them, and I'll simply hit delete. Then I'll press shift A to select my mesh, and I'm going to select this torus. Then go to the torus settings, and we will increase the major segments to 150 and minor segments to 100, and then we will increase the major radius to somewhere around 5 over here, and let's increase the major radius to somewhere around 1, or instead of 1 let's choose 0.5 or something like that. Okay, now if you select this and if you go to the tab menu, I can see this kind of edges over here like this. Okay, now let's select this, go to the tab menu. I'm going to select this. I'll go to the materials and I'm going to create a new material, and this time I'm going to choose black color for this one. Okay, so let's go to the Z and choose material preview, so you can see our black color has been applied. Now select this, right click and choose shade smooth to shade smoother. Now select this, go to the tab view for selection, edit mode. Select your faces, select any face, go to the select and choose random selection, and like this, and let's decrease the selection value somewhere around like this. Okay, then go to the materials over here, create another material, go to the new, and this time I'm going to choose bluish color like this over here for, and then hit assign. Okay, then go to the tab view again, so we, as you guys can see, this material has been assigned. Now select this and go to the emission value over here, and we are going to choose bluish color over here, and press Z and go to the render view, and then increase the strength to see what your final output gonna look like this. Okay, like that. Okay, then like this, our this portion is ready like that. Now I'm going to select this torus. I'll hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V over here just for the reference, and I'll double click and I'll call it as wireframe torus like this. I'll select this. I'll go to the modifiers. I'll go to the modifiers. In generate, I'm going to choose wireframe over here. Okay, now even if I hide this torus over here, and if I only see this torus, and even if I go inside this torus over here like this, I'll get this kind of structure over here like this. Okay, and if I enable this torus, I'll get some additional value over here, nothing else. Okay, so let's hide this torus just for now, so we can focus on this later. Now press shift A, go to the mesh, and we are going to select one UV sphere over here. Go to the materials over here, but before that let's increase the segments, so let's delete this for now. Press Z and choose solid view over here, then shift A, mesh, and select UV sphere, and let's increase the segment somewhere around 100. Okay, and rotational segments also somewhere around 50. Okay, now select this Z, apply material preview, and we are going to create a new material, and over here we are going to apply the same material that is applied over here. Then select this tab, select any face, again same we will select this select, and we are going to select random, and then we will create a new material, new. Over here we will apply this color and choose assign. Okay, and go on edit your layout mode. Then select this, right click and choose shade smooth. Okay, then press S for scaling option and scale it somewhere around like this. Okay, now shift A, go to the camera and add camera over here. Go to the transforms of camera. Let's make this value 0 0 and 0. We are not going to add any value over there. Now this is for our stuff. Now let's try to add some curve so we can animate this stuff around this. So let's go to the top view. I'll press Z and I'll go to the solid view and press Alt Z to see inside all of this. Then press shift A and go to the curve, and we are going to select this circle. Then press S for scaling option, and let's increase the scale somewhere around like this. Okay, it should go in the middle of this like that. Let's double click and let's call it as sphere curve. Okay, then I'm going to select this sphere over here. I'll go to the constraint, and we will choose follow path. And in this one I'm going to select this sphere curve. So as you guys can see, this sphere is over here like that. Similarly, I'm going to select this sphere curve. I'll hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V. I'll double click on it and I'll call it as camera curve over here. Then now I'm going to select this camera, add, and choose follow path and choose camera curve. So this camera is over here now. So now let's select, go over here, and this camera should focus over here. So let's select this camera, go to its transform options. I'll change it to plus 90, and then its Z rotation should be also plus 90 like this. So if you hit 0, you can see through camera we are seeing like this. Okay, like this. Zoom in and press N, N over here, and go to the view over here, and let's enable this camera to view like that. Not don't enable this icon because you will get messed up. So instead of that, let's keep it as it is. And now select your camera and go over the data over here, and let's decrease the focal length so you can see your animation like this. Okay, and now you press Z and choose render view. As you guys can see, we are getting this weird stuff because this pair is in middle. If you hide this pair just for now, we are getting this kind of one. And if you enable this torus, you will get this kind of stuff. We will fix that later. How the way it looks is quite weird, but don't worry about that. Let's enable this torus. Let's select this wireframe and let's go to this one, and let's decrease the thickness to 0.01 like that. Okay, like this. Okay, and if I hide this torus, I'll get this kind of stuff. Okay, now let's select this sphere curve over here, and let's enable our sphere, and let's hit 0 again to go out of our camera view. And now let's go to the top view, and now I'm going to select this sphere curve. I'll go to the transform, and I can rotate it on Z axis like this. So let's make this minus 20 rotation and hit 0. So as you guys can see, this sphere is over here. Now I'm going to select this spherical curve, and I want the position of this one should touch the ground of this like this. Okay, so I'll keep it over here. So our this portion is ready, and go to the world settings, and color of the world should be black. So I'll choose black over here. But if you see, if we applied black, it's getting totally dark. So let's choose a little bit somewhere around like this. Okay, this looks good to me. Go to the render view, we'll get something like this, and make sure that you are in Eevee renderer like this. Okay, so now we will try to add some animations, and after animating we will add some lights to it to give it a proper look. Okay, and if you want a little bit glow, you can select any object. You can go to the material, and over here all you need to do, simply go to the emission value over here, and let's make this 2.5, or let's say 8 something. And then you need to go to the render output, and over here you have to check out this bloom over here. So as you guys can see, we are getting a little bit of glow over here. Okay, and whenever you are going to increase this sorry, select first object. Whenever you are going to increase this emission value, the more emission value, the more glow it's gonna get. So let's make this 15 over here like this. Okay, similarly for this one, I'm going to make it 15, and let's see how does it looks. If you deselect it, we will get something like this. If you enable this, we are getting weird stuff. So let's I'm going to delete this torus, I don't need that. I'll select this one. Let's go over here, and let's make this value 10 or something, not too much. I think this much would be good. And now we need to animate this, so hit 0 to go out of this stuff. And now we will animate this curves over here. So select this pair curve and go to the transform over here, and let's create one keyframe at the start, and I'm going to make this up to 360 frames. Okay, and initially I'm going to create one over here, and I'll go to somewhere around 360 over here, and let's make this minus 360 and create another keyframe. Okay, so if you hit 0 over here, and if you hit play from the start, and if you hit play, As you guys can see, this pair is animating. Okay, similarly I want this camera should also animate. So what I'm gonna do over here is I'm gonna select my camera curve, and I'm going to create one keyframe at the start. Then let's increase the size. Let's go to somewhere around 360, and let's make this minus 360 degree, and create another keyframe over here. Okay, so what will happen, along with this pair, this camera is also gonna move like this. Okay, now let's go to the animation portion, and I'm going to select this camera, select this camera keyframes over here totally like this. Make sure that all the keyframes are selected, and simply right click over here, interpolation mode, and choose linear. Same thing we are going to follow for this sphere curve as well. Select this keyframe interpolation and choose linear. Go to the layout setting, and now if I hit play, there is no ease in ease out, simple camera animation is over there. Now along with this pair should also start to animate. So let's go and let's see on which axis we can animate this pair on y-axis. So let's make this 0 initially, create one keyframe, go to 360, and let's make this minus 360 into 6 or something, and create another keyframe. Then we will select this keyframe interpolation and choose linear. So if I hit play, I'll get this kind of stuff, but the animation is very slow. So let's type minus 360 into 16 and create another keyframe, and again select those keyframe interpolation mode and choose linear. Okay, so if you hit play, we are getting this kind of stuff, and this animation is going to be in the form of loop. After last frame it will follow the same loop. Okay, now along with that I'm going to select this camera, and I want not camera curve but camera, and I want rotation on not this axis over here. I think this is perfectly fine. If you want to change the angle a little bit, you can do that. I want some animation on this y-axis as well. So let's create one keyframe at the start, go to around 360, and make it 360-degree rotation, create one keyframe, right click, keyframe interpolation, and choose linear. Okay, so what will happen, along with this animation we will get the animation for this as well. Okay, like this. Now let's go to the top view, and we will press shift A, and we will go to the lights, and we will choose point light. Press G, and let's try to move this over here. Then press 1 and press G, and let's try to move this over here. Okay, and hit 0. And now I'm going to select this point light, and let's bring this outward, and let's minimize this. I'm going to right click and new collection and double click on it, and let's call it as lights, so our project is not gonna get messed up. And I'm going to move this point light over here. Now select this point light, go to the light or source, and we will choose particular color like yellow, and power I'm going to choose 500 or something like this. Okay, if you want to change the color, you can, like this. You can change different color. Similarly, you can choose make it 200 as well. You can change the position of this light as well, like you can choose over here. Now let's go to the top view, press shift D, and try to move this over here, and this time I'm going to change the color of this one to yellow. Shift D, move this over here, change the color of this one to green. Shift D, move this over here, change the color of this one to blue. Shift D, move this over here, change the color of this one to somewhere along like this. Shift D, move this over here, different color. Shift D, move this over here. Shift D, move this over here. Shift D, move this over here. Shift D, and let's try to move this over here and change the bluish color. Okay, and hit 0. And now if I hit play, I'll get those different colors or different size like this, and we will get something like this. Okay, and now let's go to the world settings, and instead of this, if you choose complete black settings over here, we will get something like this. Okay, like this animation. Now after that, I need a certain amount of depth of field in this animation as well. So for that, what I can do over here is that I can go over here and choose camera, and go to the data, and let's enable our depth of field. Go to the depth of field, and let's choose f-stop 0.02 like this. or let's say point 0.1 or something, and let's try to adjust the focus distance somewhere around over here. Okay, make sure that this ball should be on a focus distance, and let's make this offset point 0.2, or let's say point 0.5 or something, or let's say point 0.3. So we'll get something like this. So now if I hit play and try to play this animation, I'll get something like this. Okay, like this. You can change around this value and try to play around with this value as well. It's totally up to you the way you want to change your animation. It's totally up to you. I'm going to make it point 0.2 or something, and let's see how this looks. Okay, it looks something like this. Okay, so this is how your animation is gonna get. And if you want, then you can make it point 0.4 or something, so there is not gonna be, completely different stuff. Okay, so yeah, this is how you can create this kind of looping animation in Blender. And then all you need to do is render out this animation. To render out animation, all you need to do is simply go to the render setting first. And I have did this animation in Eevee render, but if you want to render it out in cycles, you can check it out how does it looks. Let's enable our denoise settings, and as you guys can see, in cycles it will take a little bit time to render, but obviously the quality is gonna high, but it will take too much time to render this animation. So I'll suggest you to check out this in Eevee. And if you want to enable this ambient occlusion, etc, etc, you can do that as well. Then let's go to the output menu. And over here, frame range 1 to 360. Okay, and you have to check out where you want to render it out this animation. Then do that. Okay, I'm gonna go in my music over here, right click, I'm gonna create a new folder, and let's call it as render over here, and type sci-fi. Okay, and accept over here, and I'm gonna go and choose PNG format, RGB 16. Okay, these are my settings over here. And frame rate, I'm going to choose 30, like this. Yeah, all of the settings are good. And now I'm going to go in my render, and I'm going to choose render animation. So now these are going to start the render my animations. So this is how you can create this kind of animation in Blender.